Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So, today my guest is Meagan Johnson. Meagan.
Hi.
Morning. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, absolutely. So Meagan is the Executive Director of the Milwaukee Diaper Mission, and she's also on the Milwaukee Business Journal's list of the 40 under 40. It's a list of our emerging leaders, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And last year she won a Betty Award from the Milwaukee Magazine. Another great honor for. So we've done several of these with our 40 under 40 emerging leaders, and I always find them fascinating. So your story to me is fascinating because you were, and we'll get to it, but you identified a problem and you tried to change it and affect change here in the community.
Yeah. I found that there was a vital resource for our community that did not exist in Milwaukee and existed in most major cities in the United States.
All right. So let's start where we started at the beginning. So you were born in Illinois, moved to Lake Geneva at an early age, and you lived in down Lake Geneva's kind of a, I want to say a resort, but it's around a nice lake. It's a very nice area.
Yeah.
So you lived there growing up. So talk about that and how it kind of set the stage for who you become.
Yeah, it was a lovely place to grow up. It is a tourist town, so in the summer it is very busy and lots of faces and people there to visit. But in the winter, it's like any other small town in Wisconsin. Sure. It's a beautiful place. I was very fortunate to grow up near the lake, and now I'm happy to say that I've lived near a lake my entire life because I now live in Milwaukee next to our beautiful lake. So, yeah, it was a great place to grow up.
It is a big lake. So you go to UWM here in Milwaukee, and as you've said in several interviews that I've seen, you never left.
Yeah.
Came to Milwaukee. So was there a plan after graduating, and what were you thinking about doing?
Yeah, so I went to school for art education. So I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts with a teaching certificate. When I graduated in 2009, there were no jobs for my graduating class. So I did a couple of odd jobs. I taught preschool for many years. I waited tables. And then I became a stay-at-home parent. My husband and I started having children, and it didn't make sense for me to work to pay for childcare. Sure. So I ended up staying home for a few years and never really entered the workforce until I started this organization. Okay.
So exactly that. You couldn't find work in your what you went to school for, and so being a stay-at-home mom. So then you realize, as you stated a little bit earlier, that there's issues in our community. We have one of the poorest cities in the United States here. I'm looking at the camera. Meagan is much taller than me. It's not your fault. It's my fault.
I was born this way.
It's my parents' fault. But you identified an issue that there's basic needs not being met in our community, and so you started the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. So in early 2020, I learned that 1 in 3 families struggle to afford diapers. That statistic, as a mom of 2 little boys in diapers at the time, was heartbreaking to me. Oftentimes when we hear about poverty, we hear about food insecurity, housing, but basic needs like diapers and period supplies are often left out of the conversation. Sure. So I learned that 1 in 3 families were struggling. I Googled Milwaukee Diaper Bank to see if I could volunteer there and give back to this, issue that I had just discovered. And there was nothing. So then it turned into, I have a little of extra bit of time to give. I, have this new passion for this issue. And I said, I'm going to try and do something about it. So I started Milwaukee's first basic needs bank.
So that is part of the story that's interesting. You were a stay-at-home mom with 2 little kids, and you identified an issue in our community that needed addressing, and you decided, I'm going to do it. So the Milwaukee Diaper Mission gets started, I guess, small and then grew, and you've gotten some celebrity voices involved, specifically most here in Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo and his partner Mariah. Yep. So talk a little bit about both the mission of MDM and then also some of the ways that people who have a voice in the community are helping out.
Yeah, so as a basic needs bank, we provide a reliable source of free diapers to our community. Our name does not describe everything that we do, however. When I thought of our mission and goals, I, recognized that there was a need for diapers in our community. I also learned that there was a need for period products in our community. So we do have a period program as well, although our name does not describe exactly that. So we distribute free diapers and period supplies to nonprofit organizations across Milwaukee. We currently work with 23 organizations in many different zip codes that offer many different supportive services to families who are in need and already, working with those organizations. We provide free products to them so they can distribute them out to the families they serve. So right now, we're supporting thousands of Milwaukee families with diapers and period supplies, and that is because we have a wonderful group of volunteers that work with us. We have an incredible board of directors, amazing staff, and supporters that really have helped carry us along the way and be able to do this work.
We have talked, and Gianni Vaccaro.
Yes.
So Gianni was the same way, except from a food standpoint, where she actually says she went dumpster diving to to see that there was this issues with food being thrown away, but people were going hungry. So she started her thing, and it's very similar to the story that you've told today, which I find fascinating.
Well, and we're fortunate to be able to support the folks that she works with diapers and period supplies at some of her summer events. So there are a lot of organizations and leaders in the nonprofit space in Milwaukee that we're very fortunate to partner with and work with, and she's one of them. That's
great. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I'm married. My husband, Taylor, works for the VA, and we have 2 little boys. They are 4 and 7 right now, so yeah.
And what part of town you live in?
We currently live in Oak Creek, so just a little bit south of Milwaukee. We lived in Bayview for many years. When I went to college, I lived on the east side, so I've kind of bounced around different neighborhoods in Milwaukee County, and hope to move to the next neighborhood soon.
Good. All right, so this is a little apron. I'd like you to give you so you get your nice clothes all dirty.
Awesome.
So we call this serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. We're going to have a little fun today. So, Meagan, what are we making?
So we're going to make pesto today. It's a really simple recipe that, you just toss a few ingredients in a food processor or a blender and then toss it with some pasta. It's really versatile. You can eat it any time of year, but it's a really delicious summer dish because it's, fresh herbs and fresh cheese and who can say no to pasta?
We have a little herb garden, if I don't know if you can see it out there.
Yeah,
so I've got a lot of the basil from that from our herb garden.
Wonderful. I also garden, so I'm excited to harvest some basil and some fresh tomatoes from our garden this summer.
All right, so we're going to have pesto. As an Italian, that works for me. So we've done a little prep work. Give us a minute to set up, and then we'll head back to the kitchen, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're here in the kitchen, and Meagan is toasting some pine nuts.
Yeah, so we have half a cup of pine nuts here that I'm toasting in a dry skillet just to give them a little bit more flavor. They're going to release their oils and then be really delicious in our dish.
Okay. And we've roasted some cherry tomatoes here, and those are going to go on top of our pasta.
Yeah, and those were just tossed in a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, really simple.
Okay. And here's our ingredients. Some fresh basil. We're using the gemelli, which is Italian word for twins pasta. A little Parmigiano-Reggiano, a little garlic, of course, olive oil, salt and pepper, and our pine nuts.
Yes. So we have a food processor here. We're going to toss in our pine nuts.
Okay. Pine nuts going in.
Then we have 2 ounces of basil here. This is gorgeous, fresh basil.
Alrighty.
Sometimes I use mint, sometimes I use parsley. It just kind of depends whatever herbs you have available.
Don't tell Italian use parsley.
All right, so we have a few cloves of fresh garlic. However much you like. I'm going to do 3 here. Sometimes a lot of garlic can be a little intense, so we'll do 3. But if you like a lot of garlic, go for it.
Alrighty.
We'll do about a teaspoon of salt.
All right.
The cheese is salty, so you don't want to add too much salt.
Correct.
And we'll do some freshly ground black pepper.
Okay. To taste, because you can't tell people how much salt or pepper to put in. That's been
It's up to them.
Right, because some people don't put salt in their food.
Right.
For health reasons.
All right, so pop the top on, and we're gonna get this moving and then drizzle in some olive oil as it's going. Okay. Great.
All right. All right, they're emulsifying as the olive oil is going in.
Okay, we're gonna turn it off and scrape down the sides. Use this here.
All right.
Okay, let's add some cheese now.
Okay. We got about a cup of Parmigiano-Reggiano.
Grated.
There we go.
Oh, and we'll turn it back on again. All right, let's take a look.
Towards me. There you
go. Scrape down the sides. So it's a beautiful green color. This is about the consistency you want.
And you can smell that basil.
Yes, that basil is gorgeous. Really fresh and bright. You can also add lemon juice to this, a little bit of vinegar. You can kind of, you know, play with it and add different things as you like.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's ready. I think we can probably toss it with the pasta.
All right, so we have let's grab that white bowl over there. And the pasta's cooked. This is gemelli, as you can see.
I'm going to pop this pesto in the pot first and toss it that way.
All right.
That might help it just kind of mix together well here. All right.
So we're going to put the pesto on.
Yeah, we'll pop it in the pot with the pasta. The pasta's still warm, so this is going to help that pesto mix in nicely. Sometimes if you have a little extra pasta water too, you can mix that in.
Yes, it's one of the golden rules of cooking pastas. You can save your pasta water, and I unfortunately did not.
That's okay. I think it's going to come together just fine.
It doesn't need to be a green dish. It just needs to be coated, not covered.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what's great about this is you can have this warm for dinner, and then the next day you can have it for lunch as a cold pasta salad. It's delicious. You can add broccoli, you can add grilled chicken, sausage, any protein you want. But honestly, I like just a really simple roasted tomato, and then we have this beautiful burrata that we'll add on top as well.
Oh yeah, it's got the burrata.
Yeah. So we'll toss these gorgeous roasted tomatoes in. These have a little bit of juice coming out too, so that'll help that pesto come together.
All right, so we got roasted cherry tomatoes going in. They're nice and fresh. One of the good things about summer.
Yes.
Lots of nice fresh veggies.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially tomatoes.
All right, so put this in our
into the bowl.
Beautiful bowl here.
Well, it's white, but
it's a nice contrast with this green sauce.
All right, I'll give you that. And so we've got some burrata, which is a great cheese. And
yes, I love burrata so much. It looks like fresh mozzarella right now, but once we cut it open, it has this really beautiful center that is creamy. It's almost like a cottage cheese inside. It's salty, creamy, delicious. So I usually just pop it on top like this, and we'll drizzle a little bit of extra
olive oil
on top. And then I love some black pepper on top as well.
All right, a little black pepper.
Like this. And then you just take a scoop out and put it in your own bowl, and you are good to go.
There we go. Look at that. All right. So, Megan, you did a lot of hard work on this, so I think we have to eat it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm hungry.
Right. So we're going to test this out, see how it did. Megan, thank you so much, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we're back. So, Megan.
Yes.
Tell us what we got here.
This is a pesto pasta. That's gemelli pasta with roasted tomatoes, a delicious pesto sauce, and fresh burrata cheese on top.
Yum. And also, what do you have here?
So we also have some panko breadcrumbs that I have toasted with some butter and some red pepper flakes and a little garlic powder. So just a nice little crunchy topping for the dish.
Alrighty. All right, so you're the guest, so why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
go first. So just taking a nice big hunk of burrata.
Oh yeah.
That's going to go on top of, yum. Don't be shy.
You could maybe do an eighth of this ball. I did a quarter for myself because I love it. And
All
then.
Right. And you're going to put some breadcrumbs on that?
Yes.
All right. Oh, I'm not shy. I'm going to take a lot of burrata.
I love a good crunchy breadcrumb on top. Okay.
All right. God, that basil is just so fragrant.
It really is. Very beautiful.
May I trouble you for some breadcrumbs? Yum.
There you go.
Are they just toasted, or is there any spice or flavoring on them?
Just a little salt and pepper, some red pepper flakes, and a little garlic powder.
Ooh, red pepper flake. All right. Napkin in my lap. You're much taller. I need a phone book. Somebody get me a phone book, please. All right. All right. See how we did. Add a little burrata with it.
That's summer in a bowl right there.
I've never put burrata on it, but this is great.
Thank you.
Very interesting. It's not. I mean, it just adds so much, especially with the crunch of the breadcrumbs, and then the kind of mildness of the burrata with this beautiful pesto. I need a cherry tomato too. I have to get the full effect.
Those cherry tomatoes add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of tartness at the same time. It's a really nice balance.
What a great breakfast! Because it's like 9:30 in the morning. But
You can eat this any time of day. It's so good.
Well, that's what we in college. You cold pizza, cold pasta. You just ate what was there.
That's right.
Okay, one more bite. Well, I'm going to eat all of this. I'm just saying one more bite before I thank Meagan for coming in.
And thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
It's
I
great.
love watching cooking shows, so when you invited me to join, I was very excited because this is a dream come true for me.
Well, I appreciate making an Italian dish. I appreciate the work you do in the community because it is, you identified a need and decided that as a private citizen who is a stay-at-home mom, you're going to do something about it. And you've changed the lives of many people, or at least you've certainly helped. And you're one of our emerging leaders, so you might as well get used to being on camera and stuff. So,
Thank you, Charlie.
all right, so thanks so much for coming.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it
much for having me.
So appreciate everyone's support. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for supporting Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.